Hi guys, and welcome to this workshop. So I can see we have people dropping into the group. This is live on our Facebook group, but we also have the session and we have people with us. We have Camilla, we have Jennifer, we have Nicola, we have Nikki, and we have Eddie in at the moment. So kind of 3 o'clock, so I don't know how busy it's going to get. We're going to put the link in the Facebook group, so there might be people coming in and out. This is a really special one for both me and Kevin, because Kevin's here as well. He's going to be popping up any second, and we're going to talk all about communities. Hi Kevin, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you very much. Looking forward to this. I hope
Yes.
everybody's got their typing fingers on, because this is interactive. This is not a passive learning. Everyone's getting involved.
Yeah, we're going to get you guys involved. It's going to be a benefit to you. We are talking all about community today. We have a slide presentation that both me and Kevin are going to talk you through good points. This should be really good. Guys, get your pen and paper out. All right, you guys that have signed up because you're in with us live, you can get access to the replay. You guys that are just watching on the Facebook group, you can just catch up on the channel, okay, for the replay there, or you can join the group. We'll put a link in there. But we are talking all about the communities, and we are so excited about this because the importance of a community can't be stressed or underestimated. It's so powerful. It's a way to connect with your audience. It's a way for you to actively help them, but not only that, get your community members to help you and run it for you. And we have great example of that. Our Facebook group, which we will be showing later, is a shining example of how a community should be: positive, inspirational, motivating, and everybody helping each other, and talent there to actually for you guys to reach out to get people to do stuff for you. Okay, they charge you, but you know they're experts because they're in the group and they're answering questions. So there's a lot of things that are going to come out of this side of things, isn't there, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, community isn't a new concept. This isn't an internet concept. It's been around since the dawn of time, right? It's just we adapt it and we view it differently now. And even online, the language around it has evolved, even in the last few years. Remember going back to tribes? Everyone had a tribe. Remember that?
Camp.
Yeah, and it was that, but that's what it was. Oh, you're in so and so's tribe and all of that, and the language of it has always been slightly different, but the premise behind it is, and the reason why it's so useful has always been the same. And we're going to dig into that a little bit today, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even like the even inside of that kind of tribal sort of environment, you even have a name for each of the tribes. So, like with Zenler, for instance, there's so many names that come out, like Zen goats. There's zealots. There's so many different things to put you in this kind of class. You are the community. You guys are in here now, and you're watching the workshop. So. Where are you guys from? Do you want to give a shout out in the chat? If you want to ask questions in the chat, we will be opening the cameras up later for you to ask any questions. Netherlands. Whoa, Crystal's from Netherlands. Hi, good to see you, Crystal. Canada. Yeah, Spain. Oh, we're all over the place. Got any Aussies?
Northampton.
Eh, Southeast Kent. Not too far. United States. See, we are global, Camilla, from Sweden. Fabulous. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a English in France. Nicola. Oh yeah. Nicola's our artist. All right. I'm going to jump into a screen share where we're going to go through a series of slides. So both me and Kevin are going to take a slide each, and then we'll have a discussion point as well. Guys, write down notes, okay, as we're going. And we're going to get you interactive, right? We're going to get you to go into the Facebook group where this event is held. So, right, we'll give you the link, and we're going to get you to do some tasks along the way. And these will be beneficial to you. They'll also be beneficial to us, and we'll explain why maybe at the end, okay? So let us now jump in and do my share here. And hopefully it all works. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to just do that. Okay, Kevin, can you see that okay?
Yeah, I can see it fine. It's all good.
All good. Right, let's get on with this. Let's move through the slides. So what you're going to be looking at in the next, we got 3 sessions. We've got one today, we've got one on the 7th, and we got one on the 11th, exactly the same time. Plus we have a special live bonus, live 4, that we will tell you about much later. Okay, so hold on for that one, it's very special. And today what we're going to be talking about is enhanced learning experience. So how communities, how the enhanced learning experience of a community can really help you. On live 2, we're going to talk about engagement and retention, which is probably maybe one of the only things that you're thinking that a community could help you with. Okay, you're probably like, well, I want to get the engagement and the retention. That's probably a one that you think, but there's a lot of other opportunities that come out of it, which brings us on to live 3, which is about opportunities for networking and collaboration. This is a real key one as well. So we're going to be deep diving into most of the main things that you could use communities for. Now, along the way, you might cherry pick what works for you. So some things might not work for your particular community. Other things might work really well, and there might be things that you decide to implement after this workshop series has finished. So now is over to Kevin with the first slide.
Right, here we go. Are we all ready? Just let me know that you're ready in the chat and we're going to get cracking. So I'll read the slide because obviously you can't and I can. So a strong community transforms the learning process from a solitary activity into a collaborative experience. So what does that mean? So when we are, as course creators, this is really important, because when we take people through a process on their own and it's just you and them, it feels there's very much disconnect there, because there's the student and the teacher, and that's the status of the people in there. When you've got a community and people are going through things together, and often they're at slightly different levels, but not from the point of view of a student to a teacher type level, right? This becomes much more exciting for them, much more enjoyable for them, and for you as the person that's running this community, much more effective for them as a learning experience. So learners share insights, ask questions, and celebrate progress together. Often you'll have heard about this as being something like a cohort. That's quite a common phrase within anything educational wise online, i.e. course wise. And they do exactly these things. They share their experience of going through a process. Often someone would ask the question that 50 people have been wondering but are too frightened. So, but in a group, they feel that they're in a community, more to the point, they feel more empowered to be able to do that, and therefore they can progress all together. So that enriches their educational journey. So they do more, they get more done. So the social interaction, it makes it fun, makes it more enjoyable, but they also retain the information better and stay. And for me, the last point is probably one of the most important. They stay motivated to complete what they're doing together, because nobody wants to be the one that drops out. They want to be the one that's popping up the person that's next to them to say, come on, you're having a bad one here, we can do this together and it's going to be awesome. So they G each other on to achieve the collective objective, even though it's an individual task, but they're working together on it to get done what they need to get done.
Yeah, so as you heard there, this is probably the key point of what we're doing today. Strong community transforms learning process, collaborative with your little members, and the interaction and the motivation. It's just the key point of today's workshop, guys, right? So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to sort of like have a look at this now. So section 1, the importance of community in the learning experience, like how a community enhances the learning experience for course participants. So guys, what do you think about that? What do you think that will enhance the learning experience for course participants with the use of a community? Just drop it into the chat. Are you guys there? Can you?
I can't see any messages yet. They're thinking about it. So,
Right. So, Kevin, what do you feel about this?
so the importance of community and learning experience. How can a group of people make the learning experience for course participants better? Well, obviously, doing stuff together. We like to do stuff together. We socialise together. We go to school together. We go to university together. Nobody goes to university on their own, right? They might be an individual, but they're in a collective class, right? When you go off and you go on to, let's say, health and safety courses, first aid courses, any of those things you may have done in your work, you never go on your own. You go together. You go together because as a group, you will always get the people that talk up and ask all the questions. Then you'll get the ones that are a bit quieter, that need a little bit of support from the others that are there and a little bit more confidence, but their objective is the same. So the experience is heightened by the fact you've got multiple personalities, right, trying to go through the same thing at the same time with often the same level of knowledge. And that makes it fun, right? That's my view on it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some great ones come in as well, all feeding off of this stuff. So, Crystal's saying, can we repeat the question? I'll just carry on. So, Nicholas said support from other students and not feeling intimidated by the teacher. That is a really good one. Like if your teacher is making you feel intimidated, right, maybe tell the teacher because you should not have that. I know sometimes, you can, teachers work in different ways, but you should not feel intimidated. But on the plus side, you have support from students and you have people backing you up. And this is a very powerful message. Now, hopefully your instructor will not, you will be in a community where that instructor is, because otherwise what's the point, but it does happen. Sometimes people put people into communities and then the instructor just disappears and leaves everybody, right, I've set my community up and off I go, and that's not a good thing. So be careful about that. So seeing others succeed creates motivation. Absolutely. Look at Melissa Dillon. We did quite a few posts on her making her million sales, and that really motivated a lot of you guys. You actually watched the video that Kevin and I did, and that really helps with motivation. So I'm going to try and bring in things that from our own group, so you guys have a direct relationship with it. So completely canine dog training, love it. Having someone who understands your small wins and celebrates with you. Yeah, and I think your teacher, should be doing that as well, should be celebrating the wins with you. But other people, we have that again happening in the group all the time. People say, I've just done my first funnel, yay! And everyone supports them. And it's a really good thing because we have all been there, we've all done little things, and we've all... and we all we like someone to give us a little pat on the back. We shouldn't need it, but it's a really good way to motivate ourselves. Plus critiquing as well. Kelly's said the ability to ask questions and share experiences as you progress through the training. I think that's a key one, just on that alone, isn't it, Kevin? That actual ability to ask questions and share the experience.
Yeah, like that a lot. There's quite a few in here that I'm sitting here and I'm nodding away at, and a lot of them are teacher led, as in that they shouldn't feel intimidated, and you might have shy people and all of that. And a community really does highlight the areas of improvement for you as a leader of the community or as the instructor, because if some of this stuff's happening, then if you're a new instructor running a community, then you might not know it's happening because might not know to look out for it. So it's that type of thing is really important because you want everyone to feel capable and nobody left behind, because everyone pays the same money, even if it's free, right? They're still at the same level. So it's hard for an instructor, especially a new instructor that's never done a community or doing a community online. Sometimes can be even harder. If it's in person, you can pick up on body language, and on Zoom we can pick up on body language. If someone's sort of looking down or they're always off camera or whatever, we can sort of pick up on those points. If it's a written community like the Zenler community, it's a bit more difficult. You've got to know some of the warning signs there, as in, is someone really active and then suddenly they're quiet? or things like that? Or is someone gone from being very positive to very negative? Is that because they're struggling and it's how they're trying to communicate it and they're just not doing it very effectively? So the teacher-led answers here, I think, are massively important to take on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just, let's face it, guys, like you are in the Zenler group. Zenler is a software company. You know, these things that we're talking about now apply to software or products. It doesn't just apply to courses or memberships. And I think that's a strong thing because we pick up on that all the time. We try and move forwards with what you guys want. We're watching what you guys do. We're watching the community if it starts to get negative, and we will post and say it's not acceptable. You know, and I think that kind of monitoring is really important within a community. And if you feel that someone is being suppressed in any way, especially with our group, then we will handle it. You know, and we always say to you guys, if you are feeling harassed or you feel that you're being attacked in any way, that you should reach out to us. You know, you should tell us because we need to address it. It might just be someone's having a bad day and just put something in a message. You know, it could just be that, but it is unacceptable. We have zero tolerance on that, and we're proud of our positive community. We have it said. I actually had that from Harry the other day when ran the video workshop, and he was saying, I can't believe how motivated and energetic your community is. He was inspired. He has his own groups and he was inspired by the Zenler community, and that just goes to show you how great you guys are. I think it's a really important one. So we also have opportunities for trainers to interact with participants. Yeah, absolutely, that's key. A more personal experience with your instructor. You know they're a human being and not a bot at this stage. Yeah, completely. At this stage, what will happen?
It might be an AI. You never know.
Yeah, AI assisted. I think I don't want those days to come. It's nice to talk
It
to
won't
people.
be you and me, David. It'll be a version of us that's just AI talking to everybody.
We'll be happy all the time. We'll just be writing.
You're all far too young.
We'll just be writing prompts. That's what we'll be doing the whole time. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Right. So section 1: the importance of communities in the learning experience. How social interactions can facilitate learning. Kevin, jump in whenever you feel like it. Enhanced comprehension and retention. So activates prior knowledge and aids in making connections. Now, this is really, really important because people look back through community feeds and they'll often use it as a way to activate that prior knowledge that they had. This is happening and it's moving more into courses now with shorter micro workshops. So you might have seen us producing much more micro workshops, you know, office hours all the time. Kevin runs little micro workshops on certain parts. And this is to activate that prior knowledge of you guys maybe doing a bigger course like the Complete Guide to Zenler. So doing these little activation posts inside your members groups can be a really good way to activate prior knowledge for your members in your group. So there's always something to do in a members group, you know, but you have to offset that with the time that you're being paid. If it's a membership site and you paid monthly, it's good. But if you've got a one-off payment of say, let's say £10 a course or something, or $10 a course, then you could have this thing where if you've only got 100 people and you're spending all your time in there, all your money to time ratio is just crazy. So you need to be a bit careful about the time investment that you spend in a community as well. It's definitely something to, especially if you've got no new people coming into a group. Okay, we can talk about private and public groups later. So critical thinking and problem solving. So yeah, exactly. And this was already mentioned, encourages exposure to different viewpoints and alternative approaches. And we have that all the time because inside Zenler itself, as you guys know, there's always 10 different ways to do the same thing, you know, and everyone's experience is different. Like Kevin will do something completely different to the way that I'm working with something. But generally we'll look at each other and we'll go, oh, well, that I like that bit, Kevin, so I'm going to steal that. You know, happens quite a lot. So that's what we do.
I think the other thing with that, look, I've come on as a giant there because you're so small. The other thing with that as well is we often, when we're looking to take a training and maybe upskill, right, we get caught in a rhythm of we've always done it that way, or so-and-so's always shown me that way, or, you know, let's take dog training, for instance. How many times have the dog trainers heard, my mum and dad taught my dog how to do this by doing that, right? And by looking at this problem solve, critical thinking and alternative approaches, I think is the key here. I talk about it in all the trainings we do, right? Coming to one of the things, right? So I might do, so for those of you that went on to the Launch Your First course, boot camp that I did, or one of those, I'll always say to you right at the beginning, this isn't the only way to do this, right? There's multiple ways to achieve the same objective. However, this is one way and you have to choose and work out which bits you like and which bits you want to adapt. And I think that's shows real confidence in you as an instructor to allow that to happen in a community. And the other thing as well is it gives you ideas. As a course creator, are you missing something that your community is talking about or brainstorming, and you think, you know what, actually I could have put that in, or that could be an extra module, or that could be a bonus product and I've not even thought about it. So then going through this stuff can activate your stuff as well to adapt your approach to the way that you train. Just a thought.
Absolutely, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so huge ones there. Positive learning environment, again, this has been mentioned. So a lot of these points you guys already know about, but we're going into detail with it. So positive learning experience increases engagement, motivation and satisfaction. So we say no more. Preparation for real world scenarios. So develop teamwork and communication skills. Well, this is key as well, and this is what you guys are doing now. You're coming on here, you're interacting with us, you're on the Facebook group and you're talking, but you might also set up live sessions where people are jumping in with you, where you're getting that kind of real world experience and maybe camera confidence as well. Like a lot of you guys have been on workshops with us, and you know, when we open our cameras up, you guys come on and you're getting that experience. So if you're not camera comfortable, it kind of is a very safe place for you to see how you're doing. You know, we're hosting it, me and Kevin, so we're on camera, we're front and center, and you know that you're just there and you're participating at your own pace. So you can come on camera, you might feel unconfident, but you know that we're leading it for you. So it takes that pressure off you. And this is a real world scenario for you. This is what you'll be doing when you're talking to people, because as we know, hopefully you guys are running a lot of live sessions with potential students, and or you're selling something or whatever you're doing, or you're doing a presentation. So that experience is again gold dust for you, I think. Again, Kevin, you can jump in when you like. Cognitive and emotional development. So supports cognitive processes and emotional intelligence. So yeah, you know, the cognitive side is it gets you thinking. You come up with ideas. You can discuss them in a community, and it's kind of a safe area, isn't it? It's like people. And this, I think this comes from earlier, we were talking about that people tend to, when you're on camera, people are completely different as to when they write a message. Because when they write a message, they feel very confident, and they can sometimes come across in the wrong manner. And when you actually meet them on camera, they're not like that at all. And that comes from that kind of like, well, I can talk about this, I can say these things, but when you meet them, they're not like that at all. So these processes of emotional intelligence, cognitive processes are really an important thing. And I think that a lot of us need to look at how we're writing things, me included. I'm terrible. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. It's not going to make them feel good. And I might edit it or something like that. But I do it often because I'm very fiery. I'm very passionate about things I do. I've learned to mellow out a little bit, but it is a cognitive process, and being in a community really can open you up to that. How do you feel about that, Kevin?
I remember in the early 2000s, I went into one of my very first business communities, and I was in there and I was chatting away. It was a big community, worldwide company. It doesn't exist anymore. But there were thousands upon thousands of people, and we were split off into different groups for different things that we were interested in. And I'd spent a few months in there chatting, typing away stuff, and I got a private message from a guy that I'd sort of struck up a bit of rapport. And he said to me, "You come on there and you seem quite angry a lot of the time. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not an angry person, but I wasn't great at communicating by writing. Right, I'd never done a lot of it in my work life. I'd never had to sit there and type a lot of stuff out." And he said to you, "I'm going to give you the best bit of advice I can ever give you for communicating online." And I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" He said, "Use emojis." Right? If you type something and put a smile at the end of it, people will interpret that, because you can read something 1,000 different ways. If you're in a good mood, you can read it like it's always having a go. If you're in a bad, sorry, the other way around. If you're in a bad mood, so you get where I'm going with that. So I always use emojis when I think there's even the possibility of someone misunderstanding the intent behind how I'm writing something. And I've done that for 5 years now, and it serves me so well. And that's what I learned from it. So the way, and remember, when we talk communities, we're talking sometimes on camera communities, but the majority of you will have communities that are just written, where they're just in a group, like in the Zenler group, where you're just writing stuff backwards and forwards. And you might write in a hurry, where you might write that message to your partner or your son, your daughter, your mum, your dad, whatever, and they'll understand it because they know you that well. But in a community group, I guarantee you, someone will read it the wrong way, right? They might not tell you if they've read it the wrong way, but think about how each message can be interpreted, because that does make a difference. So my learning experience on that was use emojis, because then people can only interpret it the way you intend it. And
Yeah, I agree.
well for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is capitals. It's like when like some people, like I did it once in a workshop. I said, "Can you, like, in capitals, put this when you want to ask a question?" Now, someone in the group, okay, and I don't know if you're in here, they actually left. No, she's not in here, but she actually left because she was so annoyed at people using capitals. And I said, "Look, for me, it makes it very easy for me to look through the chat and know where there's a question and know where people are just chatting amongst themselves. It's purely a Kia for me." And but she wouldn't have it. She was just out of there because it was shouting.
Mate, honestly, I had that with Sarah, my wife, today, where the cat had stood on my keyboard. I was typing a message on WhatsApp about something, and she literally come back to me and said, "Are you upset? You're shouting." And I looked at her and I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm really not. It's the cat's trod on the caps lock and I didn't see it." It was so
So
funny.
these things happen. Yeah, it's all fun and games. Right, okay, so we're on the last one now of this, which is teacher-student relationship. So this was already said. Obviously, if you have a community, you can strengthen that connection and positively impact the learning outcomes, okay? So that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's strengthening that connection. Also, as well as that, it's really good. I mean, lives are the best, obviously, because you can ask any question, and if I haven't got the answer for you, or Kevin hasn't got the answer for you, we're not worth our salt talking about the subject, okay? So it's very easy to find out if someone's faking it. However, nowadays with the advent of AI, you have that ability to just use AI to give an answer. And I'll say to you now that we have had that in the group. We've had certain people that are no longer in the group come into the group and give AI answers to questions that you guys have asked. And we know about this because we have had some of the experts in the group actually say to us, look, this person's just popped up in the group. This answer is definitely AI. We've checked it is AI. We've got rid of them from the group. And this sort of thing will happen more and more and more. So be aware of it. Be aware, and we say to you, if anyone's answering questions and giving these answers and they're asking you to get in contact with them, or they're saying DM me and I can help you with that work, be very skeptical about it. We always say to you, on a community, see the people that are helping every day. Okay, and I'm quite happy to say their names. We got Erin in there, we got Amit in there, we got Kyla, we got Via, okay, we got Phoenix. These are people that answer questions in the group all the time, okay, and Neil Armstrong as well, he's in there. He helps in the group as well. There are people that help all the time, and these are people that post thousands of times helping people, and we always aim people towards them because they don't just turn up to try and harvest work from you guys. We want to stop that, okay? Most of the time, we answer the question, we do videos and workshops, and you don't need anyone else anyway, you just need us. But I'm just being honest about it. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to get you guys to be interactive. Shall we do our first interactive part of it, Kevin?
Yeah, go on then. Until they all come on screen.
No, we're not going to get you on screen yet. We're going to get you to go to post on our link. So I'm going to supply a couple of things to you now. Now, what we want you to do is, for the first one, right, we want you to post a screenshot. So if you guys can do a screenshot of your Zoom display, or you might have a nice picture of yourself or something like that. And we just want you to post that into the Facebook group, okay? So into the Facebook group, into this event. So I'm going to post it in here. Now there might be...
You and me?
They could screenshot us, yes. Tell us when you're going to screenshot it. I'm going to give you...
I'll do it again.
Okay, right. I knew it could get out of hand. I knew it.
Well, you did invite me for it to get out of hand.
God, Kevin, it's definitely going to get out of hand. Right, so I'm going to put the link in there. I'm going to put this in here. Now, then there will be prizes at the end, maybe on session 3 or 4. We will be doing prizes for interaction within our group. And so what we're trying to do here is we're going to get you to do things. Okay, so start posting. I've given you the link there to the event, and you can post in there, and we will be looking at people that have posted these things. So you don't have to do it now, you can do it later in the show if you want to, but take this, put this into your notepad for later for posting, okay? So you can do it now or you can do it later. It's entirely up to you. So there will be a competition winners out of this, and we want interaction. So Nicola, mine won't work, my screen grab. You can go to snippet. So if you can't do it, don't worry, do it later, okay? It's not a big one. We'll be having more of these as we roll through it. Now, our aim here, and the takeaway points, right? What we're doing in this live is things that you should be doing in your community whenever you run lives, all right? You should be trying to get interaction, and you should be trying to get this kind of engagement going in all of the posts, okay? So Caroline doesn't matter, Caroline, it's all right. Just it's part of the group. This is just a bit of fun stuff going on, okay? So
just a quick correction to those on Facebook that are watching. Yes, there is the Zoom link. You can come into Zoom with us. That's why you can't see the other comments, Pauline.
Aha. Oh, we got some Zoomers. I haven't put the link in Zoom, have I?
We've got some people on Facebook that are just watching it there, and they can't get on, so they can't see the comments in the chat. You
can now. Boom. There's the Zoom. So you can jump in there. You guys, you can hear us. So if you can hear us, you can do your screenshot and you can post in there. So you don't necessarily have to come on. Of course we want you to come on, but if you don't want to, you still don't have to.
Yeah. Hey, Pauline.
Oh, Pauline's in. All right. She normally watches on the group. That's good. Fabulous.
Awesome.
All right. More of our tribe. We got a bigger tribe, Kevin.
A bigger tribe. Indeed.
Oh, permissions are turned off. Whoa, okay. Right, 2 seconds.
Takes you to the event and you can't post. The post permissions are off.
We should be running. I'm gonna knock this up to the featured area, our live, so you can see it in there, or you should see it in the feed. If you just put it in the feed, we've got lots of comments coming in the feed anyway. They're in there. So let me just pin that to featured. Let me just share this so you guys can see. So you can see inside there. There's our group there. We got everything's going on. Got Kimberly in there. Kevin's in there, and we got Crystal in there. Crystal's, yeah, she's in there, and she's in here as well. Okay, so there we go. Just go into our Facebook group and just do that, and that would be cool. Okay, we're going to carry on with the presentation now, and let's get back to it. All right, guys. Okay, so teacher-student relationship. So over to you, Kevin. Next slide.
Okay, right, I'm here. So, 76% of internet users participate in an online community. Interesting. One study found that people engage in online communities that include blogs, forums, and/or vlogs across all devices. What do we think of that? 76% of internet users are in an online community. Do you think that's because they choose to be?
They might be in the community but left the community. So
that's a lot of people, right?
Mm.
I think the point to that particular statistic is the fact that people like being in groups, right? For whatever reason that may be. I think this is, if you look at how Facebook operates, how LinkedIn operates, you know, one of their core features, which they put a lot into, is the group feature, right? It never used to have groups, either of them. So if they're willing to invest that amount of money into it, and what this is saying is 76% of people online actually join some form of community group, there's got to be something in it, right?
Yeah, and whether they know it or not, you know, because it can be they join something, even LinkedIn, you could have like a community of people in there. So they might be counting all sorts of things. Way of communicating between people is basically a community.
But even now, I mean, we have WhatsApp groups, right? The other day, we had someone put a thing through our front door saying that they were doing a WhatsApp group for the road that we live in. Well, that's a community group. The commonality is we all live in the same road.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's all these interactions are adding to these massive engagement. I guess anyone, internet users, so their participation found engagement. So I mean, a huge number of people, guys. You know, so people are always searching to be part of something. You know, if it's in your niche as well, it's like, imagine, like I know, like for a fact with my stuff, because it's very nichey. Okay, it's like 3D design. It's not like a lot of people do that. It's a very nichey subject, and they dive into groups because it's like, it's not something they like to discuss their ideas, and they like to show their designs off to each other and ask opinions. And that you can't find those people in everyday life. Like in the town I live in, there's nobody that uses 3D software. You know, there's nobody at all. I've never met anybody, and this is a small town. You know, I would know those people. I found someone the other day that's getting into jewelry design, and he reached out to me and said, "Oh, you know, I'd like to meet you because I want to learn about the software that you're using." But that's the only case in 9 years. You know. So the finding, especially in your particular subject, so if it's very nichey, people are going to join you maybe easier than all of the usual ones. Like, how many marketing groups are there? I mean, that's just huge, isn't it? Yeah.
But how many active marketing groups are there?
Ah.
That's a completely different question.
Mm.
And there's nowhere near as many. And how many active marketing groups are there that provide good current information based on experience? Even fewer. So actually, what that says to me is lots of people are looking, but lots of people don't necessarily find the community that's right for them.
Yeah, a lot of jumping ship. We don't have that too much in Zenler because it's based on our platform and people are in there to use it. So yeah, next point is companies are also jumping on this trend. A Forrester report found that 60% of businesses own a branded online community, so their own online community. Okay. And this is probably something that's it is something that's happening more and more and more. In fact, YouTube are actually launching a community feature. So at the moment in YouTube, you have the ability to comment on things, but they want to turn it into a full-fledged community in there. Now, if they're doing it, there's something in it because, you know, like Kevin said right at the beginning, communities have been around for a long time. Why are they thinking of doing it now? Why is it happening now? Why is all this activity around communities happening now? Zenler itself is totally revamping the way that communities work in the platform itself. But why? Why is this happening? It's happening because we know the importance of a community, and we know that now with the advent of AI and all of this stuff, it has never been more important to have your own community, and certainly your own private community where you're letting people in and you're not letting the robots take over. That's my opinion on it. So you're getting more of this from people as well.
It's not only that though, but it gives businesses the opportunity to showcase what makes them different in their field. So if you take the community bit out, a lot of people will buy on features and price, right? And everybody will, if you look at a sales page, look at a sales page for a learning management system, for example. So you've got Zenler, Kajabi, Teachable. Pretty much, they all promise the same thing, right? Some differences here and there, but pretty much, if you looked at it and you didn't know anything about them, you'd go, right, I need the one with the features that hits the price point that I want to pay, right? And normally it becomes the cheapest if you have no other reason. The communities broaden that right out, because what that gives them the opportunity to do is use Zenler as an example. You get to meet the education team, you get to get the support that you're looking for, you get to know all about the software that we offer, you get to see how we actually function as a business, you get to meet other people that are using it already, so you get to draw from their experience. So when it comes to making a choice, if you're in a community like Zenler, right, and you're not in any other learning management system community, and you go, right, I want to buy a system, which one are you going to pick? You'll pick Zenler, clearly, right? Because you've had that experience. So it stops the feature stroke price point purchase, and it widens people's minds up to what else does the company have to offer. Now, this can work in reverse. So if you have a company that has a community and they're brash and they're harsh and they're unavailable and they're very cold in the way they operate their community, right, that's going to have the reverse effect. People will go, well, I like your software, but I don't like how you operate as a business. If I get a problem, I don't feel I can come to you. Right? So you have to be careful with these things, but if you get it right, and I'd say 90% of company communities do head along the right sort of lines, then that is a big point for when people are looking to make a purchasing decision. It's much easier for them.
Yeah, and you know, it's like we were saying earlier, Zenler's been working on new communities, and this is what we're looking at. So we know that Facebook, for instance, is a lot of people are jumping ship. The whole privacy problem with a lot of these platforms puts people off, and that's why even today we have someone that doesn't go into the group themselves. However, that's what we're trying to address. So with your own community inside Zenler, that will be taken care of with the ability to set up multiple communities inside of a Zenler site, and also to set it up into different categories and be able to communicate privately only to your members, and even to open some of the communities up to public, is going to be like gold dust for you. And you're probably going to get all your members to come off your Facebook group and join the Zenler communities when it comes out. So we have a question. We have a couple of people have put comments into here. Some people, Crystal and Nicola, thought this workshop was all about using Zenler's communities as we have it at the moment. Which makes me laugh, because we wouldn't be doing 3 sessions on that. Okay, I think this is more important for you guys, because this is about communities and how you can use them now. You know, we're talking about lots and lots of different points here that you might not address. We're getting you to do things. This can help your business. If you just want to learn how the platform is used, we've got the complete guide to Zenler. You know, we run these workshops so we open your mind up to different ideas, different ways that you might want to run your community areas. And that's why we run these workshops. It's not all about just using the Zenler platform. We kind of pride ourselves on how much we do cover. It's like you've got Kevin, he's covering blogs, he's covered a ton of different things. And you've got Mammy showing you marketing workshops. We show OBS. This is nothing to do with the Zenler platform. Yeah, we're just showing you to help you with your businesses. And that's what we're doing today. So hopefully that's answered your questions, guys. So let's carry on to the last one.
Here. I don't know if you just saw that. The spirit of the community is definitely a huge differentiator.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of sums it up, really, as in, you know, that feeling you get, like you describe it as a spirit, but that feeling you get being in a community, which is either positive, negative, how's it run, how's it managed. You know, there's always people that maybe misbehave now and again, or push the boundaries of what they should and shouldn't do in the communities. But the overall feeling of it, I think, does really, really reflect on the business that manages it, in a good or not so good light. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that, Anna.
Yeah, she's in great. So Crystal said she doesn't like Facebook communities. Yeah, we know that, Crystal. There's a lot of people that just won't join them. They have different groups on things like MeWe and stuff like that. But you know, don't feel too bad. If you just wanted to learn how the Zenler communities work, you can just check that out in the complete guide to Zenler. And it's very, very simple, the community as we got it now. But what's going to be coming out is something super, super amazing. So then you will want to see it. Okay, in the meantime, I think she's heading off and she's going to speed it up for her to watch later. But you might, you know, guys, you guys that speed stuff up, you might miss important things, and I'm just saying. But so let's carry on.
We talk at 4 times our normal speed, and then they do it at 4 times the normal speed. They won't be able to understand it very much.
And then give out some gold dust information. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the next slide now. So we'll try and go through these a little bit quicker, guys, because we're hanging on each of the slides. So do you want to take this one away, Kevin?
Yeah, the help and support, we see this in the group all of the time. The more experienced members helping the new members around, showing them around. We get similar questions week in, week out from new people. We often don't even need to answer them now, because our community does it for us. They're really, really great like that. They share their experience in there of what's worked, what hasn't worked. If someone's struggling with something and they're going, you know, I'm having a bit of a tough time with this. Again, often the EdCo team don't need to get involved. Somebody else pipes up and goes, look, I did this, I get it. This is how I overcome it. But the motivation that they offer within the group is often something that's overlooked, because people do say, you know, I can't remember the amount of times I've been with Zenler 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and you know, sometimes things don't work the way you want, but then a new feature comes out, or something changes, or something updates, or I shift slightly in the business and it gets better. You know, because we can get bogged down in tech sometimes, and even though Zenler, and I'll use Zenler as the experience because that's where we're all from, you know, it is a learning management system built for non-tech heads, right? You do sometimes see people in there talking code and this and that and the other, and we don't need that, but it does motivate the newer people that feel incapable or a little bit out of their depth to go, actually, you know what, when I started, I felt similar, but I'm a year in or 2 years in, and it does get involved. Have you done this? Have you been through the quick start guide, blah, blah, blah. So, and that's all community led, right? We don't prompt anyone to do any of that stuff. They just do it because they want to be helpful, right? And I think that's that, but it doesn't happen overnight. You can't open your community on day one and have that on day two. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
take a bit of time to do it. You know, and it's really powerful thing when you see it. It sort of makes you well up a little bit and go, you know what, there are really nice people out there in the world that want to just help other people for nothing in return. They just want to help.
Yeah, I think like all of us as teachers, as instructors, that's what we try and do. You know, that's how I do. I get most satisfaction by helping people, and that's why I run these things. I want people to be successful. Caroline's put a really nice comment. She's put, I think community groups are great for sharing knowledge. As a business owner, there isn't always time to feedback to customer students. Having a community really helps customer students share knowledge and answer questions within an effective time frame. That's very true, isn't it?
Yeah, agree with that. And remember, and Zenler is very unique in this fact, right? We're all there because we're all instructors. So we're instructors instructing instructors. Yeah. So
Yeah.
our natural state of being is we want to help people. But even when you go into a community of people where you're the instructor and nobody else is, people that are there that have struggled and gone through stuff just really want to help others.
Yeah.
They might not necessarily do it the way you would do it, but they just want to help people. That's how people naturally are, right? And I think sometimes we forget that's how human beings are, that we are people that need to be with people and help people. And we see so much negativity in the world that we often forget actually in a real community, that's what people do. You check on your neighbour, or you used to check on your neighbour and make sure they're all right if you haven't seen them for a few days and all that type of thing. And it can still exist. We just have to try and create the environment to allow it to exist.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Right, moving on. We're going to move on now. So, benefits of community engagement, knowledge sharing. So, highlight the values of diverse perspective and experience within a community. So, I think, guys, that's already kind of been answered because everybody's different. You know, we've got diverse group of people in our Facebook group, for instance, come from all over the world. Completely diverse, different perspectives on things, different experiences, and they share those within a community, and it can only be a good thing, can't it? Because it opens you up. It's like we were saying, like me and Kevin, so we generally, most of the time we travel along the same road. We know where we want to get to, it's just we do it differently. So we have these debates amongst ourselves, which is really good because it opens things up to us, and I think it's a really good thing. And I think diversity in a community is a really good thing. You don't want everybody to be a drone, the same thing, do you? That would be crazy.
It takes me back to the age-old marketing question for a website. To have a pop-up or not to have a pop-up? That is the question. Right? And every time, anywhere you go,
No.
anywhere online in the world, you will always get someone that goes, I love pop-ups, they're the best thing in the world. So-and-so has this conversion rate. And then you get somebody else that goes, I hate them, they annoy me, they block my screen, I can never shut them down. And then everyone, right? And this debate has been going on for years, right? Yet pop-ups still exist. So if you ever want a really deep discussion in the Zenler platform, just go up and say, should I have a pop-up or not? And I'll tell you, people go mental. It's hilarious.
They are, my friends, they are conversation starters. You should be looking for these things because they can cause a lot of conversation to start up. I love these hot topics. When you throw one of those, it's like throwing a little hand grenade into a community.
Everybody has such strong opinions and they're not horrible about it. They're just very opinionated on it through their own experience, whatever that may be, But anyway, there you go. I thought I'd just add that bit in.
It's good. Right. Over to you, Kevin.
Right. Let's look at how learners can benefit from shared resource tips and insights. Let's visit the Facebook group today and see how the community is helping one another. So some examples of the benefits.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off there.
So these are benefits of community engagement, okay? That's what we're looking at. So look at how learners can benefit from shared resources, tips and insights. I think we've covered some of this, quite a bit of this, to be fair.
Yeah, we have. So, I mean, I won't share the group because you guys are already in there. You know it. You know how you guys are helping each other and you see all the good, positive things that are going on. But you want to pay a lot of attention to what is going on in the group. And I'd say this because we do a lot of things here at Zenler. We run a lot of events. We schedule posts. We do things like countdown timers. We do things like competitions. We have polls in there, and pretty much everything you can use inside Facebook, we tend to use. And a lot of people that run communities don't use all of these things. Now, sometimes they don't need to, but in a lot of occasions, you might not even know, or you might not even try those. So what I like to say is when you're in one of your communities, not necessarily Zenler, okay, go in the community, see how much engagement going on, see what's working, see what's engaging with other people. Take that and use that in your own community. Okay, so use other communities to actually try and build a framework around your own community. And this can be a really powerful thing because you can see what's working on other platforms and you can see why other groups are so popular because of what they're doing. So you're trying to take things away from other communities and bring them into your own. And I think this can be a powerful way of you developing and upscaling your community.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, let's move on. All right, so tools, platforms. So we've got an overview of popular platforms here. So we got, there's lots of different ones you can use here. So various tools, like obviously Zenler. Zenler's community is very basic at the moment, but we are bringing out the super mega community. Guys, we've seen it, yeah? We've seen the community that's coming to you. You are going to be shocked and amazed. So we cannot wait for that to come out. It's coming out very soon, okay? We've got other tools, our Discord, you've got Slack, and of course you've got Facebook groups. So these can all facilitate community building. So if you don't know what Discord is, it's a versatile communication platform that provides text, voice, video, chat, fostering vibrant communities around shared interests. Slack is a professional messaging tool designed for team collaboration, enabling organised conversations through channels and threads. A little bit like Teams in a way. Okay, so we've got Facebook group, a social networking feature that allows you to create and join communities based on shared interest, facilitating discussions and event planning. You guys are already in the Facebook group, most of you, so you already know what happens there. And then we have the new Zenler community, an integrated learning platform that combines course creation with community engagement, allowing educators to connect with students and fostering collaborative learning. So, you know, inside Zenler itself, you have the ability to keep a community spirit by engaging with your audience. That can be, the community can also be used through emails as well. So you can send emails out to get people to join events. You can use things like in-lesson discussions to communicate with your students. And if you guys are not using it, think about it. And you can also go in and use the community feature itself. So these three combined, I think, make up the community feature in Zenler as it exists at the moment. However, that is about to massively change. Instead of the single line community that you have, it's almost like a single line threads that you post into the community currently, and you can assign unlimited communities currently to any of the courses or even have them as public inside of the platform. It's going to change massively, and we're going to allow you to set it up for both public and also make it secret for your courses as well, same as it is at the moment, but the whole experience completely changes. All right, so that's what you've got to look forward to as far as the community side goes with Zenler. Okay, here we go, Kevin. This is a big one.
Yeah, so best practices for engagement, and I think it's time to turn and burn on this. So we're going to burn through this pretty lively. So clear goals. So define the objectives of engagement to keep the community focused and motivated. Really important that you set out what those goals are for your community, because if you don't tell people, they'll just go off and do their own thing and go, well, you never said, there was no guidelines, you know, so we've just done what we want. And you may in your mind go, well, I didn't want them to do that, but you didn't tell them, so they'll go off and do their own thing, obviously with flexibility in there. Trust and transparency, it fosters open communication, regular updates to create a sense of security and encourage feedback. Really important for you as the leader of your community, so you can understand the people that are coming into your community. Feedback is it's just, I can't tell you how important it is, because we can happily go off thinking everything's fine and dandy in our own little bubble world, as a lot of us are on our own doing this stuff. Our people have the opportunity to quite comfortably feedback in a positive manner, and that can be really helpful. Utilize diverse communication channels, employ a mix of online, social media, newsletters, and offline meetings and events to reach different audience segments effectively. We don't really need to go through that. That's very self-explanatory. Often people will do, remember when Meetup came out, right? They did that because so many people were meeting online. So Meetup, then they do in-person ones, and they take the online to the offline, and they've always worked very well in that regards. And a lot of people, it's hard if you're doing globally, but if you're certainly doing countrywide or statewide, it's quite easy to do both. And people will make an effort to come along. I remember running in-person events, and I had one guy fly down from Glasgow for it, down to Essex, because he valued that 2-hour event that much. So people will do that type of thing if they feel included in your community. Which leads me on to encourage inclusivity. So all voices are heard, and this is important. You do often get the louder voices in a community that tend to bellow above the less loud voices, and you know, it's hard to manage that at times to get that balance right. But you know, you can't allow people to feel unheard. Everyone's voice should be equal within a community, irrespective of if they're new or not. And you know, that's just a management experience type thing, but you will often find that can present quite a challenge for you building in a new community as well, especially if you bring cohorts into a community that are in different groups. So if you've got groups of 10 that you're taking them through a training program, but you're at some point including them all in the same community, you may find a couple of them from different cohorts sort of quite vocal within the groups. So adding that level in, and that can often go back to the clear goals as well. You know, making sure that everybody has a fair and we have it in the Zenler group rules. You know, making sure that everybody is respectful to each other and it's a positive interaction, etc. You shouldn't need to put that in, but guess what? Human beings are human beings, and not everybody plays nicely. So sometimes you have to spell it out. Create opportunities for feedback, really covered that earlier. Regularly solicit input through surveys. We can put polls up and things like that, and they're really handy. And in most of the platforms, you can add some form of poll, you know, just to get people talking, make them feel that they're part of, you know, the development of what you're trying to achieve, because then they'll be much more invested in wanting to get involved at the next stage with you. And remember that communities are an opportunity for you to have more paying clients, whether your community is people that are in there for free because they've never bought a course, or they've gone for a training with you and paid. You may have the same community, you may have separate, but it's still an opportunity for people to get involved, feel involved, help you maybe develop your next trainings, and they want to feel part of something that's growing. And I think that's quite important. So that's a really good one to think about. Recognising people that come in. You've heard David do it already. He's rattled off 4 or 5 different names of people in our community that help people. No, that's quite nice to get, right? We like to hear that we've put some time and effort into supporting a community, and that somebody somewhere has gone, you know what, thanks very much, it's pretty awesome. You could do it through badges on Facebook, contributor badges, top fan badges, whatever it is. Or like we do every now and again on a live, we'll just actually call people out and go, you know, so and so's done this, so and so's done that. You know, Harry's training this week. He's a community member. He's not a Zenler. He doesn't work with Zenler at all. He's just a community guy that's like, you know what, I want to help this group out. So he's done a free training for us for 2 days, right? Giving his time up and his expertise. So why wouldn't we recognise that? Educate members, provide resources and information that empower community members to engage meaningfully in discussions and initiatives. You know, that's, again, that comes down to the way that you manage the group. Group rules help. Lead by example, encourage by example, get people like we do. Why don't you go and post this in the Facebook group? Oh, am I allowed to do that? Yes, you are. Go and do that. Things like that, that really helps. Facilitate familiar settings, so organise events in comfortable, familiar locations to lower barriers to participation. That's more so if you're going to take people into offline situation, but you can do it in groups, in rooms. I suppose you could break down bigger communities into smaller cohorts to take people through things, even just as a look, I'm running a special you know, collaboration event here. First 20 people that click on the link get to come in and we get to chew the fat over different stuff. That can work quite well. Adopt engagement strategies, be flexible and ready to tweak methods based on member feedback and changing needs. Now this one's an interesting one for me, because this would sort of indicate that the tail wags the dog rather than the dog wags the tail. And you've got to remember, it's your community. So as much as member feedback is encouraged and is useful and positive, you will get, just like my pop-up example, people with every opinion to every end of the scale, and you can't keep everybody happy. So you have to remember, it's your group, it's your community, and therefore feedback and engagement matters, but based on the goals and the objectives of your business and the overarching goal of the community and why it even exists. And your members might not know that. So they may well be well-intentioned, but maybe what they're asking you to do isn't necessarily productive. And then promote peer interaction. So encourage members to connect with one another through small group discussions or collaborative projects to strengthen community bonds. We do this all the time through the workshops that we do. You may not know that we do it, but you will often come into a workshop and there'll be people like Paulie and all of these people that have been around Zenler for quite some time with a whole heap of new people. And that's exactly what that is. It's getting experienced people to come into what you're doing, as well as people that are quite new to you as well. And that can be really powerful to do that, because the more established people will help you with the newer people, because they recognise they're newer people, and you don't need to ask for that. They do it because they want to be a positive member of your community. Phew.
Fantastic. All right, so guys, we have a Q&A and general thoughts, but before we're going to do that, we're going to open the cameras up and all those sort of things. So we've come to the sort of end of that part of the enhanced learning experience for Live 1. So what I want to get you to do now is actually put into the group if you're enjoying this experience. So I want you again to put it into that Facebook feed that we've got, the live that we've got running. So if you just want to put your experiences down, that would be really cool. So we're trying to get engagement going on this post. So again, this is something you can do in your lives. You can get people to post, to do socials. If you were on Harry's workshop yesterday, you'll see that he was actually getting testimonial videos while he was running a live. I mean, these are things that you need to be bold about. You need to ask the people to do. If you don't ask, you don't get. I was always told that a very long time ago. So unless you ask the question, you're not going to get those things happening. So again, if you want to be part of this kind of competition, then post to the Facebook group if you're enjoying this experience. All right. So it is a little bit different. Okay, we normally show you things and we're just talking about discussions from our experience, but we do have a lot of experience with this stuff, and we do check all of the latest sort of things that are going on with community. So we're just trying to pass that knowledge to you. And like I said to you, there might only be 1 or 2 things out of this 3 days that we do. If you learn or you actually put into place these 1 or 2 things, it might change your business. You know, you don't know unless you're asking for that engagement or you're trying to get this stuff happening. You're not going to know. So guys, jump into the Facebook group and post your experience. Hopefully it's not bad. You just say, yeah, maybe I've learned something, or it was nice engaging. Just being here with you guys is good enough for me, because I love the fact that you turn up and you just watch everything that's going on in these kind of live workshops. All right, guys. So we have a Q&A session now where you might want to ask some questions, and then we're going to break into final slide. It's not much. We're pretty much finished. We try to cover everything thoroughly. And we knew there was a lot of stuff to cover in this live 1. Live 2, live 3 is a little bit shorter, so they're kind of better. But this one, the enhanced learning experience, was a big one. We knew it was, and we were trying to go as fast as we can, but make sure that we cover everything we need to cover. So all the cameras can come on, guys. If you want to start your cameras, I'm going to also let you unmute if you want to. So if you want to ask any questions, you can do that. You could also take a screen grab of yourself on camera with us guys, and you could post that on the group as well if you want to. So it's up to you. If you want to show up, show up. If you don't have to. Hello, Kevin. Your mic's off. Hey, Nicola. See, this is great. This is when we get to see you guys, and this makes it so special for us.
Oh.
Hi, how are you, Nicola? You okay?
I'm doing all right, darling, except I cracked a rib.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, indeed. So don't make me laugh.
Cook it? Did you cook it
What
with
did you
sauce?
do?
Sorry?
Did you cook it with sauce first?
Cracked. I
You can
fell
tell I'm in one of those
over.
moods today.
I fell over.
Nice bit of chicken chow mein with that rib.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go on. Get out of here.
Hi,
I
Brent.
broke my ribs a few years ago when I was doing my martial arts, and it hurts.
Yes, don't sneeze, whatever you do.
No, and don't try and fight someone 3 months after you've broken your ribs because they're not quite healed. Found that out as well.
Right. We got Sophia. We got Ben. Have you got any questions for us? Got any questions, Nicola?
No, I'm looking forward to the new community you're bringing out, because I've had my own little community called the Paint Box, and it staggers along, you know. They come and they go, they're too busy, all the rest of it, you know. So any more, another tool would be absolutely great. So
How are you? Where are you hosting those people? Have you got them on the Facebook group? Have you got them in the communities?
they're in Zenler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
a group within Zenler, and I
oh,
use
okay.
webinar and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got I see I'm probably one of the only ones that really likes the communities inside Zenler that we have at the moment. We have a lot of people saying, oh, you know, should do this, but actually my students that I have, especially for my jewelry course, I have they love it. They love the community because it's so simple. It's like single line thread. They haven't got to jump around. It's like in there, they ask a question and they talk amongst themselves. So literally I don't have to monitor it. And it's really weird because it's very simple, but it works for me. And I'm worried that when the new community comes out that they won't like it. It's actually the reverse. But I know they're going to love it. I know they are, because it's just looks so cool. Guys.
Good. I think, if I may continue for another minute, I think it's a question of education. People dive in to the platform, they've bought a course and they get on with it. You know, they don't always know what other elements are available. So I think it's a question of education when people join. You know, do you know there's a blog? Do you know there's this? Do you know there's that? So that's where I'm putting more effort into educating my students.
Yeah, it's a very important part to show people around your environment. I mean, if you invite people into your house, then you show them where the kitchen is, you show them where the bathroom is, you show them where their bedroom is. And I think that's something that's not, some people, well, most people overcomplicate their sites, and it becomes very hard for people to navigate. And if it's a simple site, then people know exactly where things are. And if you tell people every step of the way, we have this all the time with like, how do I tell my members how to set, seems weird. Like, how do I tell my members how to cancel their membership? You might be like, well, you don't, right? But you need to make it easy for them. So if you set up a page that shows them a process, like, guys, if you want to leave us, I don't know why you would, and please reach out to me first to tell me your pain points or why you don't want to carry on. That should always be something you're putting in there. But then make it an easy way for them to follow steps to cancel if they need to. I suppose in that gives them security as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've put at the beginning of every course how to navigate your way round this painting school. And it's how to do this, how to do that, how to do the rest, you know. So that's something that everybody, I think, needs to take on board.
Yeah. So do you use Facebook groups for your communities at all or not?
Yeah, I have done, but I'm getting a bit fed up with it. I've cut down the number of pages and groups that I had, and I am trying to pour everything into Zenler. So I hope that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, I think the timing could be perfect for you with the new release of the communities. So I think, guys, you're not going to have to wait that long. All right. So I know someone put, is it coming out in 2025? A little bit of a dig, but it's going to be coming out. It's what's happened here is major. What Zenler has done has built core foundation stuff to lay these things on top of. It would be like, I always say, like, imagine sort of like a 4-bedroom house on foundations, and you want to turn that into a block of flats. You're literally going to have to move the house for a while, dig the foundations, make them bigger, make them deeper, and then stick the house back on, and then you can put things on top. Okay, so that's what's happened. That's that's the scale that the team have worked at. So it's easy for people that don't program or code to go, well, I've been waiting a long time for that feature. But unless you know what goes into it, it's hard for you to understand. You're just like, well, I've been waiting this long. But honestly, guys, it's massive what's going on with the platform. So great to hear from you, Nicola. Have we got any more questions coming in? So I've got Sophie in here. I've got Bent in here as well. Is it Bent or Bert? Bent Rune. Oh, I've got it. Can you unmute? If you want to.
Yeah, I can.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's good to hear from you.
No, I enjoy this. I am a great believer of communities, and I have used it. I have used the Facebook group and have a little bit experience with with managing these groups by trial and failure and so on. But what I'm really, when I read the information that you showed here, I agree with everything. I really, because I am a believer, but I still find it hard to convince all students to be believers, to understand it. To me, there is no doubt that it will be possible to enhance the learning process, put it on steroids if you get the right engagement. But it is to sell this into people because they think I am so busy in my life, I cannot participate in it.
Yeah, it's very hard because most people have got, there's there's really two types. Kevin, you can jump in on this as well. There's two types of people. There's people that are looking to learn something because they want to change their career, or they want to enhance their career. And then there's the second type of people which do things because they just purely want to learn that. Well, there's a few more, but let's just say two. So that purely want to learn that. Painting could be a classic one. You know, like there's a lot of people that goes into two sides. One is there are people that want to further their skills because they're already teaching. And then there's people that just want to do it for fun, like learning to play. But there's people that are learning to play that want to go and be professional or start getting into charging and these sort of things. So you've got these two very distinctive areas, and you've got the people that are working that might already be doing another job. But what you're trying to sell them in, it's not. I don't see it as selling. When you're talking about things in a group, you're telling them what they're going to gain out of it. If they're in your group, they're already interested in what you're doing. So all you need to do is tap into what they want to achieve. If you can tap into what they want to achieve, then you're not selling them. You're just saying you will reach this. This is the value. This is what's going to happen. This is how your life is going to change at the end of doing that. And that's what you're trying to do. You're not just trying to regurgitate things and just do these posts, these sort of viral posts that don't really teach or learn. You've got people in your community group because they want to study what you're doing, and you're the teacher. So you facilitate that. They can ask the question and you can gain what they're trying to achieve at the end of it and see whether it suits you. Sometimes it won't suit you. Sometimes there'll be people, I have people come in and the stuff that they want to do as far as jewelry is concerned, it's not in any of my courses. It's not an avenue that I want to go into. And I tell them, I'm very honest. I'm like, no, this is not for you. You want to be learning Matrix, or Rhino. So I tell them to go across into a different platform. And I could say, if I was totally selfish, I could say, yeah, we can do that. But I would be misleading them. So I tell them exactly what they're going to get. And the people that I don't, then it's not for them. And I don't waste their time. They don't waste my time. And it's very easy for me. That's how I handle it. But I think you've got to tap into these values. What do you think of this, Kevin?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of along the same lines as you are. Let's face it, communities are not easy, right? Out of everything that we do, they're probably one of the most difficult things to manage and make successful, because people have opinions, they have personalities, they have different backgrounds, different expectations and all of that. And it's hard to manage at times. But, we get better at it the longer we do it. But the core principle behind it is people will come to your community if they value it. So you have to provide value within your community, whatever that looks like, right? For us at Zenler, the value is in the education, whether it's provided by us or by other members. They come there because they want to know something. It's that simple, right? And it's to do with the Zenler platform 99% of the time. So that's why they're there. There are people that come for other reasons, as in they like to be part of something. A lot of instructors work very much solo on their own. So therefore, it's the fear of not being on their own for a period of time. So there are other reasons, but, you take our community as an example, and there are so many different personalities in there from so many different walks of life. And that's challenging at times for us to manage. And it's not just one of us either. And sometimes we have quite heated debates on the team as to how to handle a particular member that's come in and posted stuff. Right? Do we leave it? Do we take it down? Do we reply to it? What do we do with it? And sometimes we have such a vast difference of opinions in our team as to what to do. There isn't really a right or wrong, but it does set a standard for that community. Now imagine doing that on your own, where you only really have your opinion. That's more difficult, I think. So, you know, but ultimately, you know, someone was saying about whether people should be there or not within the communities. If they are getting value from being in the community, you'll get the value by them being in there, right? They will only be there if they see something worthwhile. And it doesn't matter what platform it's on, it doesn't matter how difficult it is to access. If they value it, they will make the effort. It's that simple, right? I've heard all of the excuses of, oh, the app doesn't do this, and they can't upload a video, and they can't do this, and they can't do that, and it's all, none of that matters. It absolutely does not matter. What they're telling you is, when they come up with all of those excuses, I don't value your community enough to make the effort to come into it. That's what they're telling you. So your job is, how do I make it so they value my community, or are they the wrong people in my community?
Yeah, sure.
You can't fit a square peg in a round hole, right? If they're just not a good fit, they're just not a good fit, right? That's just sometimes how it goes.
That happens. It's a question of building up a rapport with your students. I mean, I've got some really lovely students in my group, and they'll send me, because sometimes it's a silly question. They think it's a silly question. They're too embarrassed to ask. I said, never. It's never too silly. You know, ask me. And I think if you can make yourself more available and also vulnerable, that, you know, I understand, we all have, you know, I do technical things, don't ask, you know, but it's a question of getting that rapport going, and it takes a long time.
But you know what I'm like, Nicola. You've been on enough of my boot camps. I
Yeah.
always stop my boot camps the same way, which is I assume, so if I'm doing my SEO boot camp, I'll assume you don't even know what SEO stands for.
Yeah, yeah, you have to do that.
And I do that not because I think people are silly. I think because, one, people get wrong information. I think, one, it also sets the playing field for people to understand exactly what I'm talking about. And then they don't have to ask questions that they feel embarrassed about. And if I cover very, very, very basic stuff, I mean really entry-level basic stuff, what it does is it gives everybody in that room the ability to feel, right, this is a basic course, even whether it is or not is irrelevant, but they feel that it is, so they feel that they're confident enough to ask as we go along because it's quite basic.
And if I
That
may,
works for me.
you can use that as a promotional tool, because I said, oh, okay, I'll make a short video to show you how. And then you promote that, it goes out, and you say, look, a student asked me, it wasn't a silly question. I don't know what you don't know. And then you've got a tool then that you can, you know, promote more with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do that all the time, Nicola. We get questions from the group and we turn them into videos. You've seen the videos in the Facebook group where we've commented on things and we've actually shown it, because to be honest, sometimes it's quicker to show a video, cut a video together, than it is actually just to write how to do it. And then sometimes those videos can be used for our socials, or they can be put into a course, or they can be put onto our YouTube channel, and of course then they're driving traffic. So everything that you guys do with your communities, you can probably use that to help you promote your business. Even asking the question, like for you guys after you finish, like, did you enjoy this workshop today? And your comments are testimonials for us. You know, we can use those snippets and we can put them across our socials, saying this is what one of our users said about the workshop, and this is how you can do it. So you can use communities not just to create the community spirit, but you can also use it to help your business in general. And I think that's a big thing.
There was a really good example in this workshop already of community, right? We had two people that came in and said, I thought this was about you showing us how to use the Zenler community. But the thing is, we already said, we said to you directly when that comment come up, right? We're not teaching you that. If that's what you want, go over there. But that we're not doing.
No, but you see, the thing is, it's this new thing you're promoting. I latched onto that and I thought, that's what I thought you were going to be doing.
But Nicola, the thing is, right, and here's the rub, right? You don't actually know. We know the purpose of this workshop and we know where it's leading, right? We're not telling you where it's leading purposely, because you should be trusting us as your education team, whatever you want to call it, to take you to a place where you go, that was worth those few workshops.
Oh, all right then.
And I'm not telling you where we're going, right? I'm not telling you where we're going.
Oh,
David's slipping a little bit here, but I'm not telling you where we're going.
it's such a tease, David.
But the
Evan,
thing
sorry.
is, this is part of a bigger plan for all of you, and the trust in the community will either follow us along and go, right, okay, I'm sort of not quite sure where you're going with this, but I'm trusting the process, which is what we want as educators, right? Whether it's in Zenler or not, right? We want you to trust us that where we take you is good for you, right? And what I'm telling you is following this community workshop will be good for you, right? So hopefully everyone watching this up to this point, if I've not sent you to sleep yet, will come on to the next couple, and then on the fourth one, we'll tell you why.
Okay.
And the people
Like
that
a big reveal.
and the people that actually travel this journey with us, because this is a little journey we're traveling, you know, there will be rewards. So you guys that are turning up and coming in here, and we've had about 4 people drop out so far. Some people left, it wasn't for them. Crystal left earlier. I know, Nicola, you were one of the ones that replied to Crystal, and because I watch everything, Nicola, right?
Oh.
Know this. So
I know.
come back. But you stayed here.
People could have dropped off. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, I keep an eye on these things. I'm all about the data. So this is a journey. We're traveling on a journey together. There will be prizes, and when we put things like you know, go and post how you enjoyed this workshop on the group, there could be reasons behind it that we reveal at the end. We don't like to tell you that everything that's going on, so that if you turn up and you're there and you're consistent, like people like Pauline, I know Pauline was in, I'm pretty sure she'd still be here. They're on workshops all the time. They consistently turn up for all of the workshops and they follow it all the way through. And we notice these things because you do. Like Nicola, I've seen you on workshops, you did the pro interview, you know, I know you, I know what you do in your work. And that's what I love, you know, and I love seeing new people on as well. We've got Sophie here, we've got Bent on here, and we've got Julia on here. I've not seen you before, Julia, and it's really good to see you because you're all my new best friends, you know. Every time that someone new comes on, it's like a new best friend joining, you know, because you're in the group. So
You don't get out, David, very much, do you?
I don't get out, but I do. I'm here all the time. So yeah, it's really good. So stay with us on this journey because it's going to be good for you. The slide deck that you see, we've got more on that slide deck. We finished the main presentation, but we've got the 3 more lives to go on there. That slide deck that we've been showing you, we're going to give you at the end. That's going to be one of the things that we're going to give you. So you can look at that as a PDF in your own time. You could also utilize the steps in there for your own business as well, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that you could get out of this. You could use it. You could say, right, oh, have I done that? Have I done this? Have I done that? Make sure that you're kind of using those, especially Bent you with your group. You know, because if you don't know the direction and the group as far as you think is hard, it might all come together for you. And if you've got that sheet and you can follow some of those things through, it's going to be good for you. That's why I was saying write down notes. Guys, this is the first session. We finished for today. Tomorrow's will be shorter. We are at 1 hour and a half for this. We wanted to keep it to an hour. But it's me and Kevin. When me and Kevin come on, things tend to double in time.
I haven't seen many screenshots going. I'm really disappointed by that. I did all the fancy, all this stuff and all that, and nobody bothered.
Who's not done a screenshot?
What did you do, one, Nicola?
I've done mine. It's on the, I think I had to go to Facebook
Oh, okay.
Ah,
because
Anna,
I'm
have you
on
done it?
Zoom.
Hey, Anna,
Anna.
we're about to go.
Come on,
Pardon?
Anna. Do a screenshot. All right, so I'm going to give you a last thing is in the group event now. The only thing that I want you to do now, and you can put these screen grabs, all these things in later if you want, or just have a picture of yourself. It doesn't matter. Just next thing I want you to do is in the Facebook event, hit the like or the love button at the top. Okay. So a lot of people put comments, but they don't like it. So we're trying to drive engagement here. There's a plan behind what we're doing. If you see what we're doing, we're trying to raise engagement on this live. This is things that you should be doing as well. If you're running a live, you should be trying to get people to interact with your posts. We are also holding this as a Zoom meeting, but we're also streaming it into the Facebook group. So how do we do that? We're running now a one-to-one booking, okay? You guys have got a direct invite link. You came in here through a funnel opt-in, okay? And the reason that you went through that funnel opt-in is because you get the link to the actual live sessions, all right? But inside of Zoom, down the bottom, you're going to see 3 little dots. And in those 3 little dots, you can live stream. So as well as holding this as a live session, I'm also live streaming into the Facebook group. That's how this is working. So you guys that didn't realize that you could also stream any of the live types in Zenler, you can. This is still Zenler Zoom. All right. So that'll get your mind working on how this, after these things have run, I always ask, you want to know how we run it? If you say yes, I always run a workshop on it. Okay. But it's very simple. We run it as a one-to-one. We got you guys to sign up. And when we started the live, we also hit the custom streaming into Facebook group. I could have also hit the custom streaming into YouTube and had it going off there as well. Okay. So it's probably different to what you guys do. Maybe some of you just want a private meeting, but if you are holding a kind of open free meeting, think about having people in there and streaming to your social feed as well. That's my last bit of advice for you. That way you can stream it directly into your community and you're literally getting 2 for 1. You're getting your guests on screen, you're getting it going to your community. People are seeing that it's active and you've got people in there and they will want to join. Okay, and this causes engagement and interaction and you're giving information. And you can take this and you can turn these into socials as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to leave you with. We have on the 4th, we have another session going on and it's been good. What's that?
That's Monday.
Monday the 4th, yeah. So we have Monday the 4th. We're going to be talking about the second part, which is increased engagement and retention. All right, guys. It's on the 7th.
No, today's the 4th. Monday's the 7th.
Right, the 7th. Doesn't matter. You're going to get a reminder anyway by email.
Monday the 7th.
That's the one.
Right, Monday the 7th, live 2. It'll be a bit shorter. We'll try and keep it to an hour. We've overrun with this one, but it's all good. Oh, great. Fabulous. K9 has put one in the chat there. Nice. Super. Fabulous. I'll grab that. The replay will go on to the replay page. We will send you this replay with any of the other bits that we've got as well. I'll tell you the things that I asked you to do during the live, so you can do them later if you want to. If you do that, you're in with a chance of maybe winning something, okay, or hearing about something we don't know yet. So, you know, up to you. Just leaving it with you. See you later, guys. Thank you all for turning up. See you later. Bye.